My name is Matthew Drury, and I am a cognitive behavioural therapist within the counselling and therapies team on the Isle of Man.
My name is Rory Donald, and I'm the principal psychologist with the Counselling and Therapy Service.
CBT is a type of talking therapy that's evidence-based. Often people mostly relate to difficult emotions that they have, so that's usually anxiety, sadness, irritability, and it's important that we don't see emotions as like kind of bad or negative things, but often people might find that their emotions are really distressing to them and become problematic. So CBT can help people who have really difficult emotions and help them understand those emotions more, perhaps not through not wanting to get rid of the emotion, but helping them understand how the problem maintains itself through how we think. So cognitive means how we think, how our mind kind of processes things, and behaviours are the things that we do. So when we tend to struggle with our emotions, we might think in really unhelpful ways because that's what the brain does when we're feeling really anxious. And then we might do things that don't help as well. So we might avoid certain things or use certain things to help ourselves cope in situations where we're struggling, which we could struggle with our emotions for longer periods of time based on the way we respond to them. So that's kind of a short version of what CBT actually is. It's how we think and it's what we do when we experience a problematic emotion. So CBT can benefit anyone who is having any sort of struggle emotionally or psychologically. It can benefit all ages. Our service mainly works with 16 plus, but CBT is evidence-based to work with lots of different people from all ages. It goes from child and adolescents to adults to older adults. So CBT can really be for anyone who has any particular problem, because if you think about the idea of the cognitive behavioural model, everyone has thoughts and everyone behaves. So if you're having some sort of problem with how you feel and the way you're thinking and what you're doing isn't helping you, then CBT can really help anyone.
And can it be seen as almost an alternative to medication as well, if people are a bit nervous about being medicated for any mental health issues they might have?
So we often stay clear of advising people about medication just because that's not a CBT therapist's role. But people often do go to their GP and they often are given an option of medication or CBT. So we usually tell people to think about what they really want and what they would really need and what they see their treatment journey being if they feel anxious or really sad. What kind of things do they want from the therapy? So I wouldn't say it can be used instead of, or I wouldn't advocate over any other type of therapy or treatment. It's just something different, and if someone understands CBT, then it might work more in their favour if that's what suits them and their values.
And you've achieved this new qualification as well. How much work has gone into getting to this point?
So the postgraduate diploma that I completed through the University of Chester was in high intensity CBT, and it was 2 years part-time. The work that went into it was a lot, so we had to work part-time and study part-time, which meant that we had to come to lectures, but also complete case studies and have every session that we had with people through the course filmed, and then several of them had to be marked and assessed, and then we had a portfolio which involved every single person who signed their consent. We had to reflect on the practice that we did and reflect on them in supervision. So it was a lot of work, but I think it was a lot of rich information that we got about common mental health problems like anxiety, depression, OCD, panic disorder, specific phobias, PTSD. So we got a really great kind of enriched knowledge base that's up to date. It's evidence-based through NICE guidelines. So I think we really got some really good information from it, and hopefully we can really apply it into our community and help everyone benefit from it, really.
And so then if I come to you, Rory, so there are 8 people who've done this training now. So what kind of difference are we hoping that this is going to make to the mental health services on the island?
Well, with the cognitive behavioural therapists working with the Counselling and Therapy Service, there'll be 5 new therapists coming in, and they've been with us since January now, so they've had their sort of first load of cases, if you like. And the idea is that over time, clearly that increase in staff is going to increase the speed with which we're able to see clients, which is our objective. And we're monitoring that in different ways to see how we're achieving the goals that we've set ourselves in terms of seeing clients as soon as possible and offering the right interventions for them.
Because it's no secret that mental health services on the island are in high demand and there are long wait lists for them. And why do you think there is such a high demand for them here?
I suppose the high demand is seen throughout Europe. It's not just an Isle of Man phenomenon. In the world in which we live, people are finding themselves under greater financial pressure. They're changing mores in society. A lot of things are going on, and that creates psychological tension in people, and there's a need for psychological therapy. I don't think it's specific to the Isle of Man.
And that global demand almost, does that then have an impact on things like recruitment and retention of staff within the mental health services?
Well, definitely it has done up until now. I mean, it was very difficult to recruit to cognitive behavioural therapist posts in the past. So the jobs would be advertised, but we wouldn't be able to recruit to them. So that's why, thankfully, we've had this opportunity through many people that have been involved in creating this opportunity for people within the service to train and meet that need in the community. Within
the last year, the number of people waiting for services like this has gone down by 25%, and that's through work that you already have been doing within that year. What are you hoping now to see going forward? Ultimately,
the goal that we're setting ourselves is in line with talking therapy services across, so these IAP services, that to try and see people within 3 months, basically. And the target is to see 75% of people within 3 months, which is not an easy goal to reach, but that's what we're working towards. And there are different ways and means in terms of our processes that we're working on to achieve that.
So how do you think this service is going to impact the demand on other areas of the mental health services provided by Manx Care?
Well, we're seeing already that people are coming into the service more quickly, which is good, so they're not having to wait as long for therapy. Therefore, their issues are not becoming as chronic, and therefore they're not requiring the type of service that's offered at Step 3 in the Isle of Man stepped care model for mental health. We're a Step 2 service, so we tend to work with moderate to mild mental health issues, whereas the Step 3 service is for more severe and enduring mental health problems. So if we're able to get in there earlier, that should save money in terms of leading to Step 2 service meeting the need rather than the more expensive Step 3 service.
And how can people access these services? What's the best way for them to do that?
They can refer online if they look for the Counselling and Therapy Service, Isle of Man. They can find the self-referral form, and it takes a little bit of time to fill in. You know, there's 10 to 15 minutes to fill it in, but all that information is important to us.
Thank you for making it to the end of the Little Manx Radio newscast. You are obviously someone with exquisite taste. May I politely suggest you might want to subscribe to this and a wide range of Manx Radio podcasts at your favourite podcast provider, so our best bits will magically appear on your smartphone. Thank you.